Then something else begins to happen through this Renaissance. We're going to go into the next one. If you'll give me something, Dr. Renee, that's sort of reminiscent. It's kind of like playing on the memory. Once riding in old Baltimore, heart filled, head filled with glee, I saw a Baltimorean, kept looking straight at me. Now I was neat and very small, and he was no bit bigger. And so I smiled, but he poked out his tongue and called me nigger. I saw the whole of Baltimore, from May until December, of all the things that happened there. That's all that I remember. So once again, you got that call and response between me and Dr. Renee, and you've also now got the call and response between North and South. I'm a Baltimorean, and Baltimore is right on, literally on the line between North and South, but still considered the South. And of course you have Jim Crow, the era of lynching, minstrelsy, as Mr. Beaudry mentioned. And so you have these northern folks in Harlem trying to call out a southern dynamic and saying, let's call attention to the inequalities in the South. Not that we don't have them in the North, but that we're much better off in the North. And we can use our education, our prominence, the world was watching Harlem at this time, to call out what's going on in the South and ask for a response. Now there's also some resentment between the folks of the Harlem Renaissance and the folks in the field in the South. Because here's a group of folks who made it for the educated elite, who have the privilege of calling out and the responsibility of calling out. So there's still a conversation, north and south, black and white, that's going on here, and it makes you ask the question, was the Harlem Renaissance music and literature and all of that, who was the target audience? Are we calling out these dynamics for white folks to see, or are we trying to express black culture to black people for self-affirmation? Or are we trying to do both? Again, keeping that duality, that call and response that's typical of the Renaissance. And here's the final piece. If you give me kind of a revolutionary beat, a marching beat maybe. If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and pinned in an inglorious spot. While around us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making them hot at our prison lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even when the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us, though dead, O kinsmen, we must meet the common struggle, though far outnumbered. Let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows deal one death blow, what though before us lies no grave. Like men will face the murderous cowardly hand, pressed to the wall, dying, but fighting back. So once again, that call and response, here are the northern folks calling to the southern folks, let us march, let us begin what eventually became the civil rights movement. So you have this movement towards more revolutionary poetry, that the response now needs to be civic action. And if we must die to do this, let us die fighting for equality. And so it's where you get something like Langston Hughes and his pivotal What Happens to a Dream Deferred, and that marches you all the way up to Dr. King's I Have a Dream 30 years later. And so the Renaissance is where you get the seeds of the civil rights movement, where people are beginning to express the horrors of what's happening to them and who they'd like to be, and that we too sing America. And so the Renaissance is important for the time that it was, but also because it propelled us to the civil rights movement that changed the fabric of who was America. Once again, calling for a different response from the country. So I leave you with those things to think about. Thank you, Dr. Renee.